I have to tell you, the view looks great from up here. If you could only see this crowd, it is remarkable. Over 5,000 centrifuges spinning and enriching uranium. Thousands more centrifuges in waiting, ready to be hooked up. Research and development on advanced centrifuges that can enrich uranium more quickly. An ability to import and manufacture conventional arms. An ability to produce ballistic missiles, including intercontinental ballistic missiles. Zero constraint on funding international terrorism. Zero constraint on murdering civilians in Syria and elsewhere. Zero constraint on killing U.S. troops. That is the deal. That's if they don't cheat. That's if they comply. And my friends, this is so bad that at the end of the temporary measures imposed upon Iran, at the end of the 10 or 12 years of temporary measures, this deal will have given Iran so much and advanced them to such a degree that their nuclear breakout time will be, are you ready for this, virtually zero. Do you know who said that? The President of the United States, Barack Obama, said that. That's what he said, virtually zero, and that's if they don't cheat. That's if they comply with the deal. That's if the inspections regime works with its 3 weeks of advance notice on suspicious sites. That's what we're talking about. You know something? We are blessed to live in this amazing country of ours. We are blessed. We are blessed to be Americans and to live in a country that offers us freedom and influence and power and peace and prosperity. But you know why we are blessed to live in such a country? It's not preordained, and it's not by accident. We have these blessings because of the decisions that were made by our predecessors, by the leaders who preserved and who sacrificed and who fought so that we could be the beneficiaries of the wonders of this wondrous country. But the future is not preordained. And whether our children and our grandchildren will live in a prosperous, free, and powerful and influential country depends on the decisions we make today. God forbid should we make the wrong decisions and hand over to our kids a weakened, broken country. God forbid. I want you to know something. I served a year in Iraq with the U.S. Central Command, and Iranian training, and Iranian weapons, and Iranian proxies killed people with whom I served. In fact, when we acquired up-armored Humvees and better body armor, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard introduced electronically formed projectiles, EFPs, into Iraq. And EFPs, with Iranian fingerprints, took the lives of 500 U.S. soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's just EFPs. That's just the EFPs. That's not the training of the Mahdi army and Al-Qaeda in Iraq. That's just the EFPs. The blood of 500 U.S. personnel. Dennis Prager talked about Munich. Do you know Neville Chamberlain signed that deal with Nazi Germany before a single shot had been fired on a British service member? The agreement in Munich was supposed to be permanent, not for 10 years. And so you compare it to Munich? What does a country have to do to prove that it's not worthy of a $150 billion signing bonus? What more does Iran have to show us that they're bent on the destruction of our country and our troops? Munich was also signed before the final solution, before even Kristallnacht. But Iran has already murdered 150,000 civilians in Syria through its proxies. What more do they have to do? And so today we stand shoulder to shoulder in unity. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, Jews and non-Jews. We stand here to say no. We stand here to fight for the future of this blessed country and a world that our children deserve to have. You know, today Today we mourn the destruction of the temple thousands of years ago. But you know, the most painful thing of Tisha B'Av was the incredulity of the people to witness the destruction of Jerusalem. It is said that the Babylonians, unlike the Romans years later, reduced Jerusalem to ash and dust. Today there's only one weapon that can reduce cities to ash and dust. The people incredulously asked, how could this happen? How can sovereignty be lost after the walls of Jericho fell? After we witnessed miracles and wonders in the desert, how could this happen? God drew his bow like an enemy, Lamentations writes so painfully, because nothing is a sure thing. No sovereignty and no power and no privilege cannot be lost. That's the message of today. And I want to end my remarks talking not about Tisha B'Av, but talking about an event in history only a few short years later. A few short years after the pulverization of Jerusalem was the story of Purim. The emperor's decree was signed and sealed. It was inconceivable, the people thought, that the emperor's decree could be undone. The deal was a done deal. And just like it was inconceivable that sovereignty could be lost in the land of Israel, it was inconceivable that the decree of ruin and devastation could be undone in ancient Persia. But yet it was undone. The deal was undone. And do you know what the difference was between the ruin of Jerusalem a few years before and the story of Purim a few years later? One thing. One difference. Unity of the people. There was disunity in ancient Israel, which led to the calamity. But in ancient Persia, Queen Esther knew better, and she said, before I go to the king, I ask all the people to fast and all the people to come together in unity, because if we stand united, anything can be undone. And that was the difference. And so today we come here in Los Angeles, and we had gathered in New York, and there are gatherings in Miami and in Chicago and in San Diego, shoulder to shoulder. Americans who love our country and who treasure our future. We come together shoulder to shoulder to stop this disgrace that will ruin our future. And if we stand together, the deal will be undone. And we will win, and we will preserve that future for our children and our grandchildren, God willing. Thank you so much.